Hey Flagler fans, we're catching up with men's soccer coach Kranjc about all things preseason, all things COVID, and your vision for our spring 2021. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, so I really want to know, what is the plan? What are we doing for spring 2021?
Well, we're doing things as normally we would in preparation for the season. The only difference is that we don't have like your typical preseason, you know, like your 2 weeks before classes start, and then you have maybe a 2-a-day, a 1-a-day. But everything is relatively the same because we still have 2.5 weeks before the season, you know, even though classes have started. We're going 1-a-day, which actually probably helps with the preparation and the periodization and the recovery of the players. And then, you know, obviously we only got 10 games this season, but that actually is a good thing because now we have 1 week in between the games, and we can prepare the guys in a way that will allow them not only to work on parts of our game, but also preparing for our opponent. So other than, you know, it's really not any different than any other season in terms of the preparation part of it. Other than I spent a little more time at Christmas thinking about a season rather than just thinking about time away and, you know, hanging out with the family and such. But that's okay, you know, I'm always thinking about the game anyway. But it was a different type of preparation for me. Yeah, so it's in terms of between the spring and the fall, it's relatively the same, except, you know, we're playing in the spring and we got 2 weeks here as we would in the fall, but again we only have 10 games. So, but it's other than that, it's you know, it's about the same as it always would be, you know. And obviously we got guys that weren't here in the fall with us that have now joined the team because they chose not, you know, they chose not to come in the fall, which obviously was fine. And now they've joined us, so it's now incorporating some new players as we would do, you know, in the fall as well. So.
Yeah. So in terms of, you know, putting together a game plan for the spring, a lot of things have been uncertain. I kind of feel like you have to take it, you know, week by week, day by day. Yeah. What kinds of things have you been able to consider normal?
Well, that's a great question. Consider normal. I mean, our training, you know, our training plans obviously have to be flexible. Because we don't know, you know, daily, you know, you don't know who could, you know, maybe not be at training, things like that. But other than that, you know, just in terms of having to be flexible, again, everything is normal. For me, the way I've looked at it and the way I've tried to, you know, approach things is just as normal as we can. You know, just do things as if they, you know, everything is what it is, because, you know, the thing I didn't want to get into, and especially for me as well as a coach, is, you know, to start worrying about this. Just, okay, we're just going to stay focused on what we need to focus on, plan as we need to plan, and then knowing that we have to, you know, make adjustments here and there for things, you know, as they pop up, you know, and as we would in a season, you know, with an injury. You know, if someone gets injured, then you've got to kind of adjust things as we go. So it's very similar to everything. But for me, it's again, in the way I've kind of approached it is just, you know, stay focused on what we need to focus on, and, you know, and focus on our bubble, focus on our team, and you know, whatever else is out there, whatever else we have to deal with, then we have to be flexible and just kind of roll with the punches.
Right. Okay. So, with that being said, what would you say your goals and your vision are now for 2021?
Well, you know, last fall was great. I mean, I really enjoyed last fall because I had a chance to work with everybody for 3.5 months from coming out of the summer, where we had a lot of new players coming in, and you can go back to even my first year to fall of 2019 now. I'm getting all of those dates mixed up. That, you know, you have all these players coming in, this new team coming in, and you have a week and a half to 2 weeks with the potential maybe there's a hurricane that comes through and then you're closed down for a week or something. So, you know, so there isn't a lot of time to get ready for a competitive season. Well, now that we've had a fall, now we've been able to implement different parts of the culture that we really want to implement that a lot of times maybe we didn't have enough time to do. Because we're so focused on we got to play. So the fall again gave us that opportunity to really kind of focus in on, player development, culture development, developing the relationships on the field, developing our style, developing, the principles that we really want to develop within our team to make sure that we are, going forward with where we want to go. So the fall was great for us. So coming into the spring now, in terms of goals, obviously we want to win every game. I always talk to the guys about winning the next game, like prepare for the next, win the next. And so obviously right now we're focused on integrating the team, getting the new players integrated as best we can, and we got time, which is awesome. Typically we have to go and we got to rush through things. We got to do 2-a-days. Now we can kind of ease our way into it. So integrate the team, get our style, get our principles, in, and then I mean, in terms of other goal, the goal in front of us is to play well and beat Francis Marion. That's what we're focused on, and then we'll take on the next. Obviously, we want to get to the conference tournament. We want to have a good showing there. We want to have a good showing in the conference season, but we need to focus on what's in front of us, and that's we got to prepare. We got to continue developing our culture, developing our principles, and then winning that first game.
Yeah. Speaking of games, so what would be your rival? What's that one game where you're like, okay,
yeah,
this is it?
That's such a good question as well. And the way I've always viewed it ever since I started coaching, and that was, it seems like a million years ago, but we had a lot of teams in our conference back, whether I was at Hastings or at Alabama Huntsville. Everybody had that. There was that team that said, "Oh, we want to beat Hastings. They're a rival. We want to beat Hastings, or we want to beat UAH." And I always looked at it. I said, "You know what? Everybody's a rival to me. Our next game that we played, that's our rival. That is the game that we want. That's the game that we want to win. That's the game that we want to compete at the highest level with the highest standard and everything like that." So, for me, I don't really pick out a team because I don't want to put too much emphasis on one team and not enough emphasis on the other. It's just about what's next. So the short answer to that is everybody.
I like it.
Everybody's a rival. Everybody's
awesome.
Everybody's a rival.
That's a really good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. You can catch their game February 1st at 6:30 p.m. against Francis Marion.